Hi everybody, this is meteorologist Terry Swails. After a big night in Galena last night, the annual Halloween parade up that way. Oh, that is an event you do not want to miss. If you've not been there, you owe it to yourself to check it out next year. That is the parade beyond parades. Well, the big thing on the weather charts today is the heavy rainfall potential that will exist later on this week. For many area farmers, this is a big deal because we've not seen much rain here this fall, especially in select locations. And we need to get some moisture back in the ground here before the hard freezes come in December and January. So let's see what's going on. And what I'm going to put up here now is the European 500 millibar chart. So essentially what this is showing is the jet stream. And we've got a ridge over the western U.S. and one over the east. So that gets us a nice healthy trough over the middle of the country. That's where weather likes to form. And so with that trough coming at us very slowly, it's going to open up the Gulf of Mexico and give us plenty of moisture for this storm system to work with. So that's a key ingredient. And since it's going to be a slow mover, it does mean that we should have at least a couple of days where precipitation is ongoing. And eventually what happens here is that the surface low passes to the west of us, so it'll come up out of Kansas and right on up into Iowa. And as it does that, it'll drag a warm front from Missouri up into southeastern Iowa. So along and north of the warm front, some very good overrunning. That's called warm advection rains. We're anticipating a little wing of precip there. And then actually as the cold front comes on through, as that passes into eastern Iowa and western Illinois, that too should generate some additional precipitation as we get towards the, I'd say Wednesday night. And that's about when the cold front is expected to pass on through here. Now, as far as the precip amounts are concerned, this is the 0Z Euro. So this was actually last night off the European run, and it was a little bit heavier than what came in today, but you can see a huge swath of rains that extends from northeastern Kansas right on up into eastern Iowa and then finally up into northwestern Michigan. So all along that path, the model's painting out anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain, and there's some exceptionally heavy amounts down in northeastern Kansas that could exceed over 6 inches. Now here's the new Euro, which came in here this afternoon, so this is the morning run, and not quite as heavy on the precip amounts, but still you can see a vast area that's covered in heavy rainfall, 1 to 3 inches in a lot of spots, but in our immediate area right over the Quad Cities, the amount's probably at least an inch less than the other model. And then as we go into the brand new GFS, which has just come down here within the hour, you can still see that it paints out anywhere from an inch to an inch and a half of rain through much of eastern Iowa and then on into central Illinois, and then it goes on back to the southwest. So a lot of places are going to see some good rains out of the system as it moves off to the northeast. One thing about this deal here, though, is there's not too much cold air, so we're not expecting to see much in the way of snow over the upper Midwest, maybe a little bit on the northwestern fringes of the storm. And the good news here is that by Halloween, it looks like the storm should have kicked off to the northeast. So the little ghosts and goblins should have some pretty respectable weather to get out and do their trick-or-treating, although I don't imagine it'll be overly warm, probably mid to upper 40s for temperatures. But if you're a kid, you can deal with that. So that's the latest on this particular situation. That's all for tonight. We'll be following this over the next couple of days. Enjoy your night and roll weather.